I'm Richard Lewis, reporting for Cadred.org. I'm here with the guys who've probably travelled the furthest to be here. It's the boys from Brazil, paiN Gaming, who've had some ups and downs in the League of Legends tournament. But because they've come such a long way, I do want to talk to them about, the Brazilian esports scene. We know you're out there, all the Brazilian fans. So we're going to start with that. And we've got XPion at the end here, and we've got Necro here, who's the manager. So, not acting as a translator, he's got some shit to say. So, right, let's start at the beginning. We don't see a lot of Brazilian guys like out at events, and we don't see them in LCS, for example, and things like this. But there is a really strong Brazilian scene, or is there? I mean, educate us. Tell us about Brazilian esports, not just League of Legends, but esports as a whole.
Well, esports was a big thing in Brazil back in 2005-04. When we have Made in Brazil, it was a really big Counter-Strike team, and they suddenly started dominating the scene, and then they just disappeared. And it's the same problems we have for League of Legends right now. It's because there's no strong competition inside Brazil. We have to actually get outside of country to play against good teams. I mean, because if you want to get better, you have to play someone who's better than you. If you just dominate, you come against a Korean and you just get beaten, right? So that's the first problem with the scene. Right now we are probably the best team in Brazil. There are some teams that they are organized, they play good, they have good players, but there's so many roster changes, there's no support for the teams. There's the franchises, but they just trade players, and there's no contract, there's no money for players. Everyone studies, has family, have to work. You can make money living off esports right now. There's probably like 3 or 4 people in Brazil that make money out of esports. So you can make a living out of it. So you can train full time, and that's probably one of the things that makes the competition not as good as. And it's a really big investment for you to go outside Brazil and train with teams. Made in Brazil actually went to Sweden for some time, back in the 2000s, to actually practice, and they lived there for 3 or 4 months, and that's why they start dominating the scene. And we don't actually want to move because Brazil is a really big country, and it's probably about the same size of Europe, and there's players from everywhere. And it's really costly to make everyone to get out of Brazil, and we still study, we still have our families, and it's something that we really want to do. It's make a living out of it, but there's no investment. Big franchises, they just give us keyboards and mouses and mouse pads, and okay, it's yours after 2 months of use, and there's no real money for us. Tournaments as well. We've won tournaments, and we still 6 months later no payment for the tournaments.
I mean, is that because they've stolen the money, or is that like, I mean, they're just slow in paying? I mean, because you hear tournaments just like say, well, okay, we got the money, fuck it, and then they just don't pay out. I mean, that does happen. That happens in Europe even. It's not like limited to fucking South America or anything like that. So I mean, are you guys going to get the money eventually?
Well, I'm not sure. I know we have some problems in ESL Brazil. The guy that is the manager from here, he doesn't know anything. The contact, because it's Turtle that pays ESL Brazil as well, and he can't even speak English properly, so he doesn't know how to deal with that. So that's a big problem. And well, we won the tournament, we won our money, and we won like 5 go for laws or something like that. We just stopped playing because we lose a weekend. And
well, you got to get paid, right?
I'm not sure.
No, but I mean, you've got to. I mean, otherwise it's a waste of your time.
Yeah, of course. If you don't get paid, why should we do it? And we play against. We can use it. We can even use it as training because the teams aren't very good.
Well, what's it like being a player in a scene like that? Because here you are, you're an esports star. You're playing League of Legends, the biggest esports game at the moment. You're playing all these big name teams, but there's obviously this disparity, you know, this kind of almost like, you know, these guys over here in Europe are the stars, you guys don't get as much.
Yeah, like I'm new in the team. I joined the roster like 1 month ago because I already play in the BGS, the Brazilian Championship. This other championship that was offline. We only had 3 offlines. When the Riot came to Brazil, we had 3. IEM São Paulo, GTX, and BGS, that was the Brazilian Championship. And I played in 2 of 3, so I met the guys, they called me. But it's not like, it's more like a hobby for us because we can make a living of it. And it's kind of hard. We want to get better, but we have problems like we don't have screens. Like we have 2 teams that is, how can I say, that worth it to screen against. The others like 15 minutes of gaming, like, and we have 5K advantage, so it's kind of hard. And we go play in the NA, EU, but it's like 200 ms. Like, how can you train against good team with latency? And for us in this tournament was the first time we played against great teams, big teams, because we couldn't screen. The internet in Brazil is really. It's not like only bad times that doesn't work for BRTT or AD carry. In the night his internet doesn't work. He plays with lag, so it's really hard to us. And this makes really hard to us.
Well, we'll talk about the tournament specifically, but I do want to keep this thing about the Brazilian scene kind of going on. You know, what I thought was interesting was what we were talking about earlier, you know, kind of about the business that Brazil actually puts into esports, you know, the number of esports consumers out there, and you were saying that the numbers for, say, Intel, that, you know...
biggest market for Intel is Brazil.
Biggest,
yeah, the second with the highest growth in per year is actually Brazil. The first is China, and that's why they always come to Brazil. And that's something that all enterprises should be not listening, but paying attention to, because it is a big market, but people don't seem to be very professional about esports there, and it's a really good ad form. I mean, you can throw a lot of money on marketing and it works. I mean, you have this big event, and you know, everyone knows Intel.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Just because of that. Something funny actually about the servers. Right, Brazil said, okay, 22 February we will have good servers in Brazil. We were playing with a server in Miami. That's
yeah, nice ping.
Yeah, they were like, no, we are gonna open a Brazilian server. So we were like, okay, good ping. We'll play. We'll stop playing NA. It will be great. Then they announced the server. We had a really high ping, like 150. Like, so what's the deal with this server? Well, it's a server for Brazilians, not in Brazil.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, nice. That they always make this smokes and mirrors thing. It's really frustrating to deal with Brazil right now.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So let's talk about support from Riot. I mean, there's a huge number of Brazilian players in League of Legends. I don't have the exact figures, but I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think Riot support you enough to, you know, for what you deserve?
I don't know if like now we have the good ping. Like I play with 30 ms, so that's actually now it's good. But I don't know what Riot can do, because we can't screen Brazil only because we can't learn, and there is so many roster changes, so teams. The good things they are always changing, so you can't screen. Everyone have to study and stuff, so we can't screen like, okay, we screen you for 5 hours. No, we can't do that because everyone has to leave or internet or something happened. So Riot now that we have our server is good, but we can play ranked. We can play ranked games because I am diamond and I am matched with bronze.
Yeah, they have
we can't play like
really bad issues with matchmaking. There's the Kami, who's a challenger in Brazil, and he enters the queue, and it's him with 4 unranked players. So
nice.
He is top 1.
Yeah, from his top 1. And
I wish things like that would happen to me.
Like I stream, so I try to stream the Brazilian server to try to help them to grow. So, but I say, how can I help? Like I can't play like that. I can play an unranked game. Like my AD carry doesn't know how to fire, doesn't know how to do something, and I was like, what can I do? That then we have to do. But if you do bot top plays like unranked against a diamond, so he gets rolled. So it's really hard to train mechanics on Brazil because the matchmaking is broken. I don't know what's happening.
So the answer to fixing that would be to have an LCS in South America, right?
Well, I'm not sure. It's something that really requires a lot of commitment from companies, because you can't just have an LCS with things that aren't with a good level of play, because games will be boring and wouldn't be as good to watch. So
I think we will have like a LCS with 3 teams, like, and the other would be crushed, like always. Like it's always like this, that 3 teams. And everyone got...
That's happening in North America, though. and people are saying, you know, no disrespect, guys, but like there's like 3 teams in that are competitive, I'd say, and there's some at the bottom that really they don't look like they belong there. So why would it be different for you guys?
Well, there's a problem of in North America. It's because teams there are a bunch of good players, and yes, they have game theory, but they probably don't have someone who's behind them telling, oh, you should try to do that and that and that. And this is something that Koreans do a lot. They have a coach. I'm not the manager, I'm the coach for the team.
Sorry, I should make that distinction.
Yeah,
Coach.
And something that we added 1 month ago. I knew all the guys, etc. And I love the Korean scene, and it's something that we are getting by. We're being inspired by them. And I think it's something about the ego of the players, that they don't want someone who's not actually better on ranked queues than them telling, well, you're doing this and this wrong. And this is probably why Europe and Korea are better than North America right now, and South America as well. And because this is having a professional coach. It's a profession. The guy is totally dedicated to do that. And in North America, it's like a bunch of dudes that like to hang around and play games. We've seen the top teams that are getting professional, they're dominating the scene. Yeah. And it's a difference of commitment, and it's something that happens in Brazil. We're starting to try to get fully committed to the game, but we can't, because we don't make money out of it, or at least don't make much money out of it. And the other teams, they don't. I mean, we're the best accomplished team in Brazil right now, and we don't win as much. The lesser teams don't win anything at all. Maybe they get some equipment, and they can't stay in the scene for long. They can't stay until they get better. If they could stay, maybe an LCS could help for them to train, but there's not enough people in there, and the first games will be terrible.
So let's talk about the tournament specifically now, and I'll bring you back into it because you're probably best poised. Although now that you're the coach, I don't know, maybe you can spot some things here and add to it. But you know, it was your first event, like you said, against these level of teams. How do you feel overall? You know, you haven't made it through the group stage, but you had some good results. You know, there was a win over Millennium, things like that, and it was real close for you. It came down to the very last game in the group. I mean, so how are you feeling overall about your performance?
For us, it was really good. We had a great game against Gambit. We started winning. We did some plays, but they outplayed us with mechanics and stuff. But it was a really good game. We saw what we did wrong, what they did well, like farming with Average Blade was like, oh my god, why didn't fix that? Like, I'm free farming, I'm getting more gold. It's obvious, but it's genius. So against against LG IEM, we
had a good start.
We had a good start. I can't remember exactly what happened.
What happened was we had first blood and second blood against them, and they had 1 or 2 towers. And at mid, it came down to there was a gank, and our mid laner was with teleport, because that's my mistake. I told him, no, you should go with teleport.
It's good coaching.
Yeah, good coaching, because we will have a better presence.
Yeah.
And he couldn't kill mid king,
right,
because he didn't have ignite, and it was, and Ilila came and ganked mid, and KO could kill both the jungler and the mid player, and they both escaped with nothing health. If he had the ignite, he would probably have the damage to kill Lilac as well, and we would snowball off that. So the game was really good. It was a high level of play from the team, and it was just because of that moment, just one summoner spell that could change a whole match. I mean, imagine a Brazilian team beating LGIM again.
Yeah.
Would be awesome. And I'm really happy with the performance of the team. Of course, I would want to win and go to the quarterfinals, but with the amount of practice we had, I think we played 15 games at most for playing to this tournament because of the problems with the internet we had. And the performance was really good. We won against Millennium, that is a quarterfinalist right now. We've had a really close game against Fnatic. We were dominating them in the whole. And the thing we trained most was our early game, and we were the only teams that managed to get Gambit game behind, actually, at the start of the game. So I'm pretty pleased with my guys.
What changes are you going to make to the mid game? Because I think we all know that's where the areas of weakness have crept in. You know, you've got a very strong early game, no doubt about that. You guys are super aggressive. You're getting people's faces. It's very exciting to watch. But then it seems to be that advantage disappears by the mid game stage. So what ideas have you got about changing it up?
This is a problem in Brazil. All Brazilian teams have this problem. Like, I used to play in a team that always had like 3k advantage and always managed to lose because we didn't know what to make in the mid game. I believe now that we have a good performance here, we can screen against the big teams, because they say, no, if you had time, we play against you, and we didn't, and they didn't have time, and it was like, and we were okay, we were going to play ranked teams and try to learn something. So I believe to help our mid game and late game, we have to play against better teams. And know what they are doing good that we are not. So, and mid game is something like you need to play like a team more. And I am new in the team. Like I never played with them. Like I play 15 games with them and some ranked games with BRTT. So I believe time will give us the mid game that we need. Time and press with the coaching and stuff. Like, we always know.
Just no more teleport, right?
No, we always know why we lost. Like, and this is good. When you lose, you can know. You can learn. Yeah, exactly. You can learn something. You can't always lose, but if you lose and learn something, eventually you will not lose anymore. So I think time will give us, and if we got good sponsors. If we can get good sponsors, we can train more. Like, I think 3 of us are studying, more our managers. So
everyone's in college right now. So
and I have to study in morning and afternoon. So I have the night to practice, to stream, and I have to sleep. I have to study. So I think if we get sponsors, we can get better. If we can get Riot to help us, like. We can play in NA, but we don't have champions. We have we
have like borrowed accounts, and we were like in ranked NA playing. Okay, so now I want you to pick this champion. Well, I don't have it on my account. Well, that's great.
Oh, you should play Trash. Oh, I don't have IP that. I will play Zyra again. Okay.
Oh, I'm first pick. Okay, pick Xin Zhao. Oh, don't have it. Just have supports on this one.
Yeah, it's really tough.
So where are we going to see you guys next, man? Because like I know you're going to have a lot of fans, not just from Brazil, after how you've played at this event, and it's great to see the League of Legends community, becoming global. It's really got the potential to do that more so than any other esports game right now. So when are you guys going to next get to a big event?
We do have plans to, in June, when everyone is on holidays, to come to either Europe, Korea, or North America. We still have to check, probably Europe, to do a boot camp and train all day, every day. This is something that paiN has a project for, and we'll probably try to get in some events here, if there is, but mostly it's training, screaming against partners we are getting today. And we probably will be at the Season 3 finals as a in World, because I think Brazil has a qualifier for that, or it's against another country, I think Turkey or something. And we'll definitely, the boot camp will be a training for that. So we really want to dominate the scene here and come global as well. Probably we'll certainly be at the, well, not certainly, but it's our objective to be at World Finals, Season 3.
Well, we wish you all the best. When you're over in Europe, we might come and film that. That might be cool. So if we're invited, of course, we won't just gate crash. And just final word to you. Is there anything you'd like to say, in Brazilian to all the fans that have been following you? And well, yeah, I know it's Portuguese. I just had to say Brazilian, because I know the dialects are different. I'm an educated man. I've travelled, so if I said Portuguese, I didn't know if you guys would get offended by that. But okay, in Portuguese to all the Brazilian people back home.
No, I can say first, sorry for not picking Mordekaiser. I know you are sad, but no. Então, I will speak in Portuguese. Valeu quem assistiu aí, quem acreditou na paiN, quem deu a chance. A gente mostrou que a gente pode jogar contra os times grandes. Não foi nada horrível, que a gente vai conseguir dar nosso melhor. E continua aí seguindo as streams, as Facebooks, as coisas, a paiN Gaming, que também tem outros times. Então, agradecer o apoio da paiN que nos trouxe para cá e o apoio da Razer também. Então, é isso. Thanks.
Right, great to talk to you guys. Have a safe flight home. I'm sure you'll get some time to do some sightseeing and whatnot between now and then. To all the guys out there at cadred.org, do stay tuned to the website. We're going to have more interviews like this one from here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships in Hanover.